Okay, go.
Hood postman, city, hood, click. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Lock the door on him. Lock the door on him. Hood postman. Hood postman. Reporting live. Reporting live. This the hood postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, gotta grip the wheel with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? We took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the 4 corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never told them no lie. Let's ride. Hood postman. 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 Hood postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Bell. We got Malik Spellman and Dahood Sherrill. Dahood, you got to cut the camera on, brother.
I'm coming in a minute. Here I come, man. My
Yeah,
bad.
you got to cut that camera on, brother. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat.
Hey, that's what I
We
do,
appreciate
that.
you, everybody. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the mailroom. When you come in, take a look at your mind and examine what's in your heart. You can go anywhere in the world and get a couple of lives, but you come right here to get the truth. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the content hit, it's gonna feel like the first and 15. Y'all know y'all was looking for it on the first and the 15th. Don't play with me on that. Shout out, shout out, shout out.
Dig that.
Wow.
Man, before they had handguns, they had handguards. Man, y'all got to start manning up out there, man. Quit playing. Man, we got a barn burner today, guys. We got a barn early today. Let me get right to it, Malik. Go. Let me get right to it. Early today, I had this amazing conversation with this nice lady named Lydia Harris, aka Miss Harry O. And
Wow.
and she dropped a bombshell today, and she's in litigation against 4 individuals. Let me get to the content though. I got the
Wait. You
content,
mean
y'all.
Lydia?
I got
You
the
mean Lydia
Drop
from?
those
You
content.
receipts.
mean
Drop
Lydia from
those
the Death Row
receipts. Drop them.
situation?
Drop them.
I got the content. Well, before they was ever Death Row Records, there was Godfather Records. Godfather Records eventually became Death Row Records, owned
Oh,
by Harry L. O. and Lydia Harris.
oh,
Okay?
wow, wow.
So when it morphed over to Death Row Records, I mean, nobody knew that it would do what it do, but yet it went astronomical. It earned great numbers. It had great audience. It had a great lineup. You had Dr. Dre. You had Tupac. You had the OFTV, and you had the Dog Pound and Snoop Dogg and all these individuals that was assigned to Death Row. So
Let's
today I
not
was
forget
talking.
about Suge Knight. Let's not forget about Suge Knight.
Suge Knight, man. We can't take the genius from Suge Knight being able to put such a symbol of brothers together and put together a great team.
Great team, man. Great
Yeah, it
team.
was
I
dynamic.
think he was one of the best executives, since, Quincy Jones and Barry Gordy and Russell Simmons from the West Coast. I mean, what Suge did for music and hip hop, man, I mean, hands down, man. I think he's one of the best if he wouldn't have had so much, you know, disunity around him in a sense. It started off good, but you know how it is when black folks get together. There's always some disunity and but I ain't gonna kill the show. Let's go, let's
No,
go,
no,
let's
no.
go.
But the disunity, we got to talk about that. Let me say that at this here. Fear and lack and scarcity are powerful forces that can profoundly influence our lives.
True.
if we allow them to take hold of our minds and hearts, these shadows or limitations have the potential to paralyze us, hinder our progress, and prevent us from reaching our full potential. And we always want to reach our full potential. Why would we want anybody to limit us when we're trying to grow, when we're trying to do things in this life? And understanding this original challenges, the validity and the adoption, sometimes we just have to take on the mindset that where we just believe in abundance and forget the naysayers, the sidewalk critics. Because here's the thing: everybody ain't made for the streets. That's why they created the sidewalk.
Well, like you say, man, what I have looked at, I mean, in a lot of things in groups and, from entertainment to all that stuff, man, it's like black folks can't never finish. It's like we always divided. You can be great, then all of a sudden there's a lot of issues and conflict within the inner circle. Then things break up, and we really never reach these Fortune 500 corporation levels because of the division amongst ourselves. And what I wish, in a perfect world, is that a 2.0 version of death row. I mean, all those people should come together because they're against a empire when it comes to music. In order for us to really etch our way and be able to, get control of our culture, that's one of the biggest things we have to do is come together and look at this as, not so much of division. I mean, everybody know one another, and we all come from a struggle. So for me, I always wishing that, things could always, happen that really produce the fruit, what I'm saying, for legacy purpose only.
How's it we could do the electric slide together, but can't do nothing else together?
Well, there are a few other things that we can do together that's just not conducive to our survival. It's unfortunate that the legacies that was left behind, the templates of the greats like Berry Gordy and Motown and Cadillac Records and all those people who planted these seeds of opportunity for us, and then somehow or another we get the monkey wrench of confusion thrown into the wash machine. So I'm eager to see exactly. Oh, definitely. There's always the hidden
No
hand
chop
inside
of
of it. Whether it be Dick Clark, who went before Congress and was sued because he was taking the rights and royalties of major groups at that time. I mean, this guy literally went before. Although we celebrate him every New Year's Eve, and I respect him. My mother was a fan of him. But on the contrary, if you just do your history, Dick Clark was brought before Congress on behalf of people like the Temptations, the Dramatics, or whomever it was, that in order to come on his show, you would have to surrender all the publishing and all that on your company, and that would allow you an opportunity to be on his show. So there's a lot of predatory contractual agreements being made, and there's a lot of discrepancies. But I'm eager to see what you have to say about it, and hopes here on your show, Postman Mel, in anticipation for the Last Supper 2024, we can maybe resolve it for
Shout
you.
out to the Last Supper. Last Supper coming soon,
Shout out,
guys. Last Supper
shout out,
featuring Malik,
shout out,
Dahood, and the Hood Postman. Yours truly. Well,
man.
I think what we have right here is the Ice Cube moment when he said, "Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you just went soft. First you were down with the AK. First you
Uh,
were down with, I'm gonna say, first you were down with a Death Row, then you moved straight off of Wilshire."
Wow. One big house, not another
one
Negro in
big
sight.
guy,
Yeah,
one
I
big
think
house.
what we have is an Ice Cube moment, and Jimmy Iovine is named in this litigation.
Jimmy
Andre Young,
Iovine.
yeah, Jimmy Iovine. Let's pronounce it right. Dr.
Jimmy
Young,
Iovine.
I mean Dre Young, and Chris
Who's that?
Taylor,
Oh,
and Calvin Broadus, aka Snoop Dogg, and
yeah.
Universal Music. What it is here's the compromise list, and I'll give you guys the content in a minute. There's a compromise list of $563 million filed by Lydia Harris, aka Mrs. Harris. Yo, the dollar
Okay.
amount. Go
How
ahead.
much?
You had a question?
How much was that again?
563 million. That's half a billion.
And my
Oh
Taraji
wow.
P and my Taraji P character, her math is mathing up.
Yeah. The dollar amount is approximately half of the total amount awarded. One damages 350 million. Two, I guess the punitives would have been like 700 million. So she's asking for, which is twice the amount that she's asking for. So she's asking for half. Also in the Los Angeles Superior Court, Ms. Lydia Harris is is presented evidence in an argument predicting on the violation predicate on the violation akin to those conspiracies, fraud, civil fraud, and influence and corruption.
Hmm.
So
Well,
she
how's all this stuff predicated on one thing that led to the other? And where'd they come up with these figures? That's an astronomical amount of money.
well, she's basing it on the earning potential and the earning power of the death row. And I guess there's been a lot of shell games being played. There's been a lot of money shelled around, and I'm sure that the book's been cooked. I don't know any music group or any music company or any record label that hasn't cooked the books. Name me one.
Man, you ain't gonna find one.
Okay.
Burger King
Especially
didn't
when you
do
talk
that.
about this type of money right here, man. $563 million, and awarding to a black woman named Miss Harry O. Hey man, that's gonna be a battle, a fight, and everything else. So I mean, what's our position on that? You know what I'm saying? Because just knowing the history of death row and just seeing on all the different podcasts and all the different interviews, man. This could be a potential mess. And the
I
people
see
that
it as so.
the people you just named in this, man, and the law firms and I just look at this as
Yeah.
something that needs to be done, because we need to hear the truth about where all this resources and money we hearing that some of these celebrities don't have no money, and all the money is trapped up at the top, and man, most of us people
It's
who
a pyramid scheme. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
that's what it's there, man. You hit it right on. You hit it right. You hit the nail around the head, man. It's a pyramid scheme, man. And we talking about decades of black culture. That's been leveraged and monetized and profited off of. But most of the people that seems that started is always locked out the door.
Uh huh.
Wow.
And let me give a shout out to a great friend and a mentor of mine, Mr. Stan Shepard, music executive.
Shout out to
He
Stan,
was
man.
actually wrote a book called Demon Sharks and Gangsters. You guys need to go get that book, and you'll really really understand a lot of what happened in the rap business. Go get that book. And shout out to DJ Battle Cat, man, for being the guy he is,
Shout out
man.
to Battle
Battle
Cat,
Phenomenal,
Cat.
legendary, legendary,
phenomenal.
legendary, legendary.
Yeah.
Battle Cat is legendary in our culture, man. From the '80s to the '90s, all that culture, man. Represented, our livelihood and us growing up in these inner cities, man. That music kept us with a vision, kept us with a motivation, to push forward. So shouts out to Battle Cat and all the great voices, man, that helped shaped us who we were, and who we are today. We
Uh-huh.
represent hip hop. So shouts out to all those great entertainers, man.
I
Grassroots
want to
entertainers.
I want to now show the actual front page and maybe a couple of pages to the actual lawsuit. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see them, but I do have them.
Filthy guap.
Here we go.
Mail, the hood postman. Scott Fontaine, what up?
It's a jungle in the ghetto, so you better beware. It ain't nothing but gorillas, iron tigers, and bears. Pro mags, Zaz's killing for tourists. Step foot up in this jungle, leave out in the hearse. Codons, Percocet, city girls, yes, sex, all eyes, no deaths, full of shells, candle wax, candle lit, Brody hit, gas, shotty shot back. Guess he knew it was real when he died, he ain't come back. Round here, snakes, we ain't gorilla, man, no being. Bro was facing 10, gave him up, now he back to win, man, it's every day. On the floor, no other way. In the ghetto, better get you some cake, no birthday, no heart, no love, nigga, what is B-Day? Cause when you down bad love, did the leeway. Might find yourself in the he say, she say, every day, all day, who am I say? I'm the hood postman, I'm the hood postman, I'm the hood postman.
That's sensitive mail right there. Sensitive mail that was dropped into the hood postman, so I delivered it. Shout out to ESCDs out of Chicago for providing that beat, for providing that track to that message right there. But y'all saw the litigation right there. It's in there, guys. So we're gonna see where this go. Man, you know what? Also, I want to add this too, dog. That man, how bold was Katt Williams to go hire Tory Hart to be part of his entourage? Was that a chess move or what? Maybe that was checkmate, matter of fact.
Oh man, I mean, let me say this: if you want to get up under another man's skin, man, deal what he used to love, and that right there have caused many wars and from centuries, it's always about that, and I think that was a chess move, and really, like you say, man, to inflame some things that's already been divided and broken. And like I say, here it is, still even on that is disunity. You know what I'm saying? These men have made it, man, and it's like, I mean, they just can't seem to get along. The whole crab in the barrel effect, and that's what I see, from a corporate standpoint of view. And most of these brothers making seven figures. So it's like, man, they tear each other down, and there's no unified force to really, for us to latch on and have a legacy for the culture, man. So, man, I wish them brothers the best, man, and I think that I hope that Katt is using this as a media campaign to get himself out on the road to sell out, because I definitely want to go see him.
Yeah, and maybe in a couple of days we'll get Lydia on and where she can speak on it for herself, and I think that'll be huge. That'll give it, the boost that it needs for everybody to know that this thing that's coming down the pipe is real. It's not a curveball, it's a fastball straight down the middle.
Unmute, your, unmute yourself, Malik.
I want to ask you a
Mute.
question.
Yes, sir.
I see the numbers on there and what it's representing. Are there really any points in authorities in the court of law to substantiate that claim? And if so, what are the chances of her getting a fraction of that money? And I truly believe in my own heart, and we're at a very small scale in regards to influence in this whole matter, because I can see a lot of apartment buildings coming out of that for the poor and for the homeless. So I'm going to be the advocate for the poor on this. But hypothetically speaking, in an imaginary world, wouldn't it be great if we could just get all those parties in one room and put our methods of approach towards it and maybe help them resolve that issue? Because I have a lot of respect for Mr. Knight, Mr. Diddy, of course, and some of the other parties involved. And Mr. Calvin Brodus, I'm quite sure he wants to play a role in trying to resolve this issue in the event that we can do it at a street level, at a spiritual level. What do you think? Am I just dreaming too big?
No, I think we have a P Diddy moment right here, that where where P Diddy just decides to just write the check, send it, boom, in the story. We don't even have to go that far. Let's
So
do. Let's.
Well, all I can say in the great Docism verbiage is that, the game is going to send you a bill, man. That $563 million, and it's been sent to some major corporations, man, that have been making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, man, on
You
black
go
folks.
ahead and say billions, man, because that's what
Made
it.
billions, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Over
Billions
like
of
the
dollars
years.
off.
I don't just look at the monetary benefits of what they've done, but there's also a dent that they put in the community of poor people that set us back, in the sense that it was a lot of predatory contractual agreements made. And at the end, it always seems as if we're the people at the bottom fighting for the crumbs that's left off. But according to my math, if it's mathing up, and in the sister's words, is Death Row made almost over $500 million. And then if you add up
Alone.
the quality of life for some of the artists that were on there, they had the potential to make $1 billion. So at what point are we going to stop doing all this litigating and agitating towards one another and in regards to getting this money, and do the business right from the beginning, and then possibly at the end? Because I once seen Russell Simmons on an interview with a gentleman, and he said, well, what has rap done? And rap this, that, and the other. And rap has done this, but, destroyed the moral fabrics of the world.
Shout out to Rennie Lowe. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, why don't you just say how many people that rap has employed? How many kids we sent to Harvard? Rap has changed the ideologies and perspectives of how cars are made, how music is distributed, how food is distributed. So how can you sit and say that in 50 years we haven't made a contribution when rap has been around for almost 200 years?
We've been rapping since our existence, so that's nothing. But the thing is that when people take your intellectual properties and make billions and billions of dollars off of it, and there's no real community benefit that goes back to the community, that seems to be the problem. I mean, black culture has been exploited at an all-time high, and there's no benefit for none of these black communities, black entertainers. There's no the black owners, or there's less black owners in hip hop that really owns their stuff, And so it's like, this is black culture, and my thing is that all this shit all the stuff that we see that's going on from a corporate standpoint of view, it has to make sense, And like and Postman just said it best. This is our movement. This is not about P Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing about P Diddy and his sex off and all the mad shit that you do when you got money. I mean, that ain't life right there. Life is really when you going back to your neighborhoods.
This country, biggest fear and always will be its biggest fear is that one day we just all get together and move as one. If black people, and I'm not going to even forget it, man. I'm going to do this. I'm not black. I'm not African American. I'm hip hop. I'm just hip hop, man. Because if you just call yourself hip hop, it encompasses everything: the fashion, the bottling, the entertainment, the music, everything, the cars, even us hanging out in the parks and the barbecues and picnics and everything. All that encompasses hip hop.
Well,
You know.
I'm glad that you took back your intellectual property in regards to hip hop, because based on what I see in some instances, not to indict the innocent, but it seems like the hipdom came out of hop.
I was just reading the comment. I thought they just had 50 years of hip hop. Yeah, I don't know what that means though, B. I saw that the 50 years of hip hop, but what came out of it? How many schools did we get out of? How many universities did we get out of? How many clubs did we get out of? Boys and Girls Club. How many?
I can tell you what we did get. We got 62,
what we got?
We got 62,000 homeless black people in Los Angeles that need help. That bought
What's being done about it? We got a mayor named Karen Bass. What's she doing about it?
Well, she's doing her part based on
the. She don't talk to Jimmy Iovine and some of these other music execs that got billions. She don't talk to Dre. She don't talk to Jay-Z and Diddy. All these people live in Los Angeles. Cardi B. Nope. I mean, let's be honest. All these people that claim they love New York and all these other places that are super rich, where they live. Let's be honest.
I mean, even Hitler had a home here in Los Angeles, so it's no big deal. Everyone knows that this is definitely where the sunbirds go. But on the contrary, there has to be a level of standards held here where there's some unification and a plan with us, because oftentimes the excuses that we use are legitimate in their eyes for them not doing business with us, being violence, non-work trustworthy, no LLC, the wrong music, or we may have a few gatekeepers at the door. So there's some serious boulders at the door keeping us from getting ahead. But on the contrary, with a show like this and The Last Supper, we can enlighten the masses of the people and let them know that we're the first and the elders to get these discrepancies in our hand. And had it been up to Sister Lydia and whomever else is involved that we're familiar with Mr. Snoop and all those other people, Harry, perhaps we could have litigated this at a village level and then put up some apartment buildings. I mean, it sounds a tad bit extreme, and it'll never happen. But you have to.
What's your answer, Stan? Your question. Sorry, go ahead, Billy.
You have to lend some credence to what Mr. Katt Williams is saying too about that Good Old Boys network. Why is it that we haven't had an R&B person in Los Angeles in 30 years? A new rapper that's conscientious, or some sort of business that represents something that we've made as an accomplishment in the 50 years of hip hop. I mean, we got the richest rapper in the world right here in Los Angeles, brother Dr. Dre, billionaire, extraordinaire. So we need to really focus on what we're doing, bringing this type of information to the public, and let them know that at some point in life, the game gonna send you in the bill, and the bills got to be paid, baby.
What's your thoughts, dog? Dog, can you hear me?
I think he's having technical difficulties. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is he on? Okay, there's Dahood.
Go ahead, dog. No, Stan actually, if Snoop Dogg and Dre didn't own the company, why are they being sued? Well, because they helped cut up the money, bro. They helped create the back door, the behind the scenes and under the table type of movement. They're a part of that. They're part of the shell game. Trust me and believe that.
So how do you think Mr. Iveen and others who have benefited from this through generational wealth and other situations, how do you think they're going to take this in regards to the litigation of this system? Because at the end of the day, you and I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other than to bring the information and disseminate it to the public in such a way that
Right.
we're really interested in trying to resolve it if we can, because we've all benefited from death row in some sense or another, even if it was just listening. But how do you see such a legacy being resolved and getting back to its normal form?
I would like to see all parties involved sit at the table and get an understanding, clear understanding of what needs to be done. Because right now, Los Angeles is suffering, bro. It's suffering in many different ways. And one of the ways that you happen to point out was the homelessness that exists. You know, you going every day downtown LA and other various places and look at all these individuals. Look at, you discovered a brother that was a law clerk eating out the trash can.
And I discovered a dude today that was sleeping. And but mind you, I'm not going out looking for these people. Let the record reflect. Let me look into the camera and tell you, because I think there's a tag in front of my face. I'm not soliciting these people in the public. I just happen to be on a trajectory to where they're in the same circumference as myself. And if Dow, you can hear us, your microphone's out. But I think that that's the best way to present to the world any simple solution, because there's no simple solutions, only intelligent choices. And one of the intelligent choices is to look at that as the common denominator as to how we should and why we should come together and put our resources in situations like this into something that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, what excuse could we possibly give the creator of your choice as an excuse for why we didn't make a difference in this world and leave a footprint? What excuse could you give God? Absolutely none.
Dawid, you back on?
I think he may have to hang up and come back on again.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he heard that point. Snoop was broke. He owned nothing. He went to low limit, then he came back and complained about it. Okay. Well, I mean, I get that, but you know, all we got is a story from Snoop. Is it really the truth? We get a story. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't. Only thing I can do is stand is try to get Lydia on. I can't answer her questions for her. I can get her on and have her to answer the questions, and then maybe we can get a clear understanding of why Snoop is added into this lawsuit.
Well, on
Because
behalf
Snoop,
of the community that made these people who they are, and the fact of the matter being that this is probably one of many discrepancies that they'll be presented with legally within this new coming of the revealing of the truth, as Katt Williams would say. The only approach that I can come up with is the emperor wears no clothes. And all those who wanted a special garment that no one else had, well, this is that garment, and it's the moment of truth. And in the society, 100% dissatisfaction brings about 100% change. I'd love to talk to Miss Lydia and just hear her perspective on it, because one, how many of us know the old saying, freedom is the road seldom traveled by the multitude? So if we know that, then there's some other things that I'd like to discuss with Miss Lydia about what is it like for Black people to get off the bottom? What is it like to be able to do what you want to do? And then how can we make that same opportunity presentable to the public in such a way that it's repackaged? And that's what we're attempting to do at the Last Supper and with the conversations that we have. And to be honest with you, Mel, you may have broken TMZ's record and Shay Shay. You're the first to get this information about the lawsuit pertaining to Death Row and its affiliates.
right. What's your thoughts, Dawood? You back?
Yeah, I think I'm back.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, you
yeah, my,
back.
my, my thought is that, $563 million, she's probably gonna be in court for at least about 10 years, because like you say, this have a foundation to what she's going to be alleging in this suit. So and we haven't seen that part of it yet. But that's, man, I mean, these litigations is crazy. Right now we in litigation with some people I choose not to speak on speak on right now. But it's just a process, man. So she's gonna have to have patience in this, especially with that number right there and the people that she's alleging. What I'm saying, the claims against. So it's going to be a long battle. But in the meanwhile, um, you know, what we need to be doing is like you say, looking at all these corporate name people that's been leveraged by management agencies. All these guys that's up under management agencies agreement, and they can't operate freely because they have stipulations in their contract that they can't use that brand, these names, Snoop and Dre, these brands, the way they want to because they really don't own them. 51% control over them. So it's like, they have to do what they have to do, to really, stay above, what I'm saying? Because, that brand get damaged, man, that
Do you think
blackball
it was
come out.
a mistake for Snoop to come out and say he now own Death Row?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that he should have, collaborated with Suge. I think he should have talked with everybody before he made that decision to get out there by himself like that. And sometimes that's be our bad strategy. I mean, it's a burning desire that we want to be able to launch and say, hey, this is something that we still control. But the way you do that is that you have to go talk to all the different principles that's involved, man. So you ain't got all these different conflicts and all these different things popping up like they popping up right now. So they all know each other, man. It's like you get so successful and you get these different managers and they divide y'all all in different locations that y'all can't even communicate with each other, like before y'all even got things started. So it's like these guys, they gotta strategize a little different from the way they're doing certain things. It don't matter if you got money, and all that stuff. That means nothing because you can be rich today and poor tomorrow. You can be poor tomorrow, be rich the next day. It depends on how you applying yourself in the type of business relationships you get yourself involved with. But I think that Snoop owed that. What I'm saying, I would have reached out to Suge. That was me. If I was in that position, I would have reached out to Suge. I would have reached out to Lydia. I would have reached out to everybody and had a big meeting because this is about culture. This is about. I mean, we see that made hundreds of millions of dollars, So, to do it right is to do it right. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's involved, hey man, we can agree to disagree, but one thing for sure and two things for certain, man, we got to save lives by utilizing this platform, what I'm saying, to employ people, both entertainment and also just administration. And it was so many jobs that, should created from that stuff, so it's not so
You
much
know
about
what's
the
weird
artist,
about all that, Dawood? We really don't know where all that money went.
man. If you follow the trail of the money, you kind of figure out, what I'm saying. You can when you always track the money, you can always know who got it. You know what I'm saying? It's never our people that have it because these are the people that's still being controlled. One thing when people say people are
Hey,
billionaires,
Michelle.
when people
Uh huh.
say people are billionaires, it kind of boggles my mind to say that how can a billionaire still be working for somebody? It's just,
Yeah.
it's just, either you're a billionaire on paper or you're a billionaire by someone else is holding the strings. And, it's just, it's different form of billionaires out here.
Wow. This is going to be
Well, I
interesting.
have to say this: one don't become a billionaire without messing over people.
It's
There's a
smart
lot of
choices.
people laid out somewhere that the billionaire trampled over, stomped over, walked over, kicked over to get to where they at.
Well,
Well, it's the old banana in the tailpipe strategy that they're utilizing on these dudes. They'll go make, say for instance, they'll go make hundreds of millions off one of these artists. Then they'll come back with the money they made off of them and then buy them out again. I'm buying your publishing, I'm buying. It's like they never really control their own destiny. You know what I'm saying? If they get out of line, they know it's easy for them to get, deleted or blackballed or you're doing commercials and stuff when you did ran through $300 million. That's a lot of money to be running through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a lot of these guys, man, didn't make it academically. They made it by their talent, and they're not that smart. So they got a lot of smart people around them that's dictating how their money is spent, where they need to live at, how they bank, what they talk, who they be with. It's just a game. You know what I'm saying, with these other different corporations that manage and control a lot of our talent. You know what I'm saying? So we try to get them to be independent and freely thinking and understand that, man, you can manage your own money. If you're making $1 million, 30% of that is going to Uncle Sam. So it's like, man, you take 300,000, set it aside for Uncle Sam, or give it to your charitable organization, or a lot of them brothers don't know how to think, man. They went
I
through
bet David Kenner is doing pretty good.
oh, he ain't gonna never do bad. You know what I'm saying? He's an academic. He's the brains.
Well, here's a little death row history that you guys can reflect on. That Mr. Compliments of Mr. Suge Knight. He was the first person during the Snoop Doggy Dogg trial. I was there every day of the trial. He was the first person to ever put Wi-Fi in the Temple 210 Temple Street Court building for the law clerks that worked for David Kenner in order to facilitate helping him to fight that case. Because the court building downtown at that time in 1990 something, whatever, did not have the capability of utilizing laptop computers. Mr. Suge Knight, and if you're listening, collect call from Suge, you know that's the truth. He spent thousands upon thousands, maybe 100,000, I don't know, maybe more, to have that whole system Wi-Fi connect. Now, right now, today, they're utilizing that same Wi-Fi system to sentence his people to prison right now, today. So when you go down the court building on 210 Temple Street and you wonder why you can send an email, that started with Mr. Suge Knight, Marion Suge Knight. Just a little death row history.
Right, got it.
And we kind of, like I say, Suge was, as far as in corporate wise, he employed a lot of people, man, and he made he made people millionaires, which is we don't have enough of in our community. We ain't got enough millionaires, enough billionaires, and that's the reason why our community is disorganized and disunified like it is, because of no economic foundation.
But why these super rich people don't get together?
Because they don't control their own destiny, and it's important to understand that, because Kanye said it best, when he was speaking about the Shaq's situation. He said he was having a conversation with somebody, said that they had a 50-50 deal with Shaq. And then Kanye was like, man, there's no such thing as no 50-50 deal. One got to be 51, one got to be 49.
Yeah.
So
Or one gonna be
49%,
51 and the other one gonna be 49. There you
yeah,
go.
whoever got the 51 is the one who's driving the car. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of our celebrities don't drive the car. You know what I'm saying? Even though they got, and you see what with the corporations that put out their reports, their financial history and all that, they don't do that. It's a corporation doing that. So they can always fudge the numbers, fix the numbers, and make these guys feel comfortable till they get out of circuit. Then when they get out of circuit, it's like, man, you'll see like, man, how these guys talking about they had $1 billion and now they ain't got it. Because if you had $1 billion, man, you should never go broke again, man. Because off $1 million, you're gonna earn a 0.1%. You'll earn, if you just had $1 million in savings in a financial account, you'll earn 100,000. So just imagine you got $1 billion. You don't even got to touch that billion. You can use the interest. It's just when you see people that had that type of resources that's broke and don't have no money and doing commercials and doing other things, they didn't manage their affairs correctly. Someone else was doing it for them, and I mean that's just the way the system is, man. Unfortunately, we don't have enough corporations that manage, black talent, that does management and stuff like that. We don't have enough, and that's something that we should all be looking for. Not everybody want to be rappers or being, in entertainment. Hey, create a publishing company, do certain things that has equity, and inclusion and all that stuff, so that you could be around for a long time,
Is it a fair assessment to say most of these kids only believe in what they idolize?
Not necessarily so. I think most kids believe in what fits the criteria for helping them at that moment due to the crisis that they're in. And when you dangle a carrot like this one that they dangled in front of us, ironically, I have in front of us, they've been beating us since this era. For you kids that don't know what this is a 45 record. Okay?
Yeah, that thing don't see some better days.
Yes, it's seen some better days. But what it is the record game.
Is that Jive record?
That's Red Fox Records or Fox Records.
Oh, Red Fox. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's called A Mother's Prayer. So, symbolically speaking, they had game when it came out to putting out the vinyl, nevertheless putting music on it. When my mother and father was listening to Reel to Reels, with Marvin Gaye and Arthur Prysock and stuff like that. What we have to do is redirect the mindset if we have access to some of these people to invest in the stuff like we do, land and property and things of that nature that has longevity. You know, oftentimes that gold chain when you walk out the store depreciates before you even leave out the store. And it's, you know, I go down to the jewelry district with one of my friends, and I see the lead that's made into this jewelry, and I've seen him hand it to big stars while he's laughing. I see
Yeah,
him make it, then hand it to stars, and they get
I
it.
tell people all the time, Malik, that cut can be put on most any and everything.
They
what,
got
what,
more cut
what,
on that dope down there in that jewelry around their neck. I'm surprised half of them brothers don't have gangrene because I seen it firsthand. So my point is, it sounds like we're in a David and Goliath type situation in which we're trying to literally trying to slay Goliath with just one smooth stone. But I believe that we can do it because success doesn't necessarily depend on numbers. Maybe perhaps Miss Lydia may be that one smooth stone, or maybe just the fact of them getting the threat of what's going on, then they can exclude the African Americans out of that and go after the people who are really benefiting from the talents of others like the Snoop Dogs and the Dr. Dre's and all this. Because it's a shame we don't have any old folks' homes with their names attached to it.
man?
It's a shame that poor little Nipsey Hussle, God bless his soul, took a T-shirt and a dream and a bag of weed and made more money and did more for black people than half of these people that I know that own Starbucks, movie theaters, and all that. That's pump faking, man. So when they seen Nipsey and his move, corporate America got rid of a lot of those people because they like, you mentioned that little dude right there do something with a T-shirt under the threat of violence at all times. So we have to redirect the win when it comes to us and the way we approach this shit. Man, this shit is really, 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 really serious, and it's not a game. And generational wealth is not something to play with. And at this point, if the things that we've shown on your show and on the Last Supper is any indication of what the future is, then our prognostication is going to be very, very, very blurry on what we're going to see in terms of blacks and others getting opportunity, because we got people literally eating out the trash, like for real. In America, on the most powerful country on the planet, heaven and space. So you got
Well,
Earth. So that's it, man. So I hope they work out their
I
differences.
think I think for us, it's more of a spiritual disconnect for one. You know, things that led us from slavery and led us to compel, to greatness was our spirituality base. And I think that the community, our race, has a disconnect spiritually as a whole. They didn't. Most people then gave up the spiritual base into believing that you can be whatever, and then having faith in God, and these things happen. We got over 50 million Black Americans here in the United States of America. We spend 2 point some trillion dollars in consumer spending. We're the biggest consumers, and we asking for reparations. If we can redirect this spending and stop spending with the entertainment industry, they ain't doing nothing for us. Look at this shit. They making billions of dollars and all this money going on offshores, and everybody's getting, like Suge said on this podcast. You can be in the entertainment industry and retire, and your kids can't go get a job in none of these major corporations. They won't even hire them. And
True,
you done made this corporation millions and millions of dollars.
true.
And your son can't even get hired in there. Where's
Wow.
the community benefit from exploiting our culture? I mean, like I said, we don't benefit nothing from that. We should be able to take this $2.1 trillion and start investing into ourselves. This podcast industry, it's becoming something that could be lucrative and could be a voice for us if we can unify. I wish that Lydia, man, would be think wisely, and instead of fighting against some of the principles. I said the principles, because everybody's not a principal. You organize with some of the principles, come together with a cohesive plan, understand what these people took from all of us. We know who these people is. The money went all the way up to the top. You know what I'm saying? And Suge is giving game when he's dropping jewels about how they get the money and our people don't get nothing. How certain insurance policies is tied on to some of these entertainers that dies, and all the money goes back to the corporations that employs these people. These people are employees, high-priced slaves. That's what Jim used to say. Jim Brown used to teach us that most of our celebrities was controlled, and none of them had independence in their thinking. And we used to ask Jim, why you ain't going out on that Magic Johnson? Jim used to be like, hell with Magic Johnson. I don't need to talk to Magic Johnson. He said, if I wanted to get anything to have anything to do with any type of corporation, he said, I call my friend Jerry Buss, because Jerry Buss was a boss. You know, we looking at the employees, but the bosses we don't look at who's really employing these people and giving them the hundreds of millions of dollars and all this stuff. And they making all this money back off advertisement, the deals they making in China. But the exploitation of black culture with no equity, no diversity, and no ownership. I mean, a lot of this stuff got to stop. But we doing it to ourselves because we have a spiritual disconnect and we have no conscience of what we got going on as a race of people. And every time we talk about this, you know, there's always people that's going to try to stop us from doing it. But, you know, sometimes you got to say no mercy, man, and just go, man. You know, we got to go. You know, that's what
Yeah,
it's about, man.
if we was a country with that 2.1 trillion, we'd be the sixth richest country.
Come on, man. It's our own fault. We blame ourselves. We don't blame nobody. We can't
Yeah, we
keep
don't have
doing
a
it.
money problem. We have a management problem.
Man, Stan said something in the chat. We have to create black financial institutions. A bank ain't nothing but a place that loans your money to everybody else, and they make all the
Yeah,
profit. And if you was just a account holder, you only get 0.1% back on your money that they spending. They making trillions off of.
yeah, because
We need
everything goes into a lockbox. A lot
we
of people
need
don't know that most money goes into lockboxes so it can earn the highest interest based on all the money that's put into the lockbox.
and let me tell you
The
something.
wealth of this country has always been determined by the property you own, not the
And
money, the little paper money you got.
and let me tell you something we need to start doing as a black race in the black community is that there's an international thing that's going on right now in inflations. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going up high. The only thing balanced inflations is gold. We got in the Congos, man. We got all different type Africa is those African nations over there control 90% of the gold. China stockpiling gold, Britain stockpiling gold, everybody stockpiling gold. We a nation within ourselves. We 50 million strong, and we ain't stockpiling no gold. And we got brothers and sisters across the Atlantic. I mean, they going in holes with buckets and getting it. If you go Google the Congos and see how they getting that gold, pure gold
Yeah.
that everybody's getting from them, except us.
Maybe about a year ago, they found one of the richest gold veins ever been found in, I think it was in Ghana.
Oh man, you know, we gotta start using our intelligence because, like I say, you know, there's a transition phase, and right now, the game is sending everybody a bill. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna send us a bill because you know our deficit is 31 trillion dollars. A lot of people don't understand
34
what that
now,
means.
somebody alleged. 34. You know, there's the other mineral called or called coltan. That you
Coltan,
can only find in Africa.
man. Elon Musk
That
can't
goes
even.
into your phones and your computers and go into a lot of these chips inside these cars.
Yeah,
Well,
that's called.
Elon Musk can't have access to certain countries that produces it due to the fact that you know they were saying in certain Tanzania that you know his background ancestral base was part of apartheid. So you know a lot of these are third party companies that need that, like you said, lithium and that coltan, and these African nations producing that in their abundance. But there's no middleman, and they telling these people, you know, hey, you got to set up our import and export so we can be the middle and be able to make money at the same time supplying them what they need, or else, you know, it's a lot of things that's going on. And like I say, you know, we just got to be educated, you know what I'm saying, to be able to take advantage of a lot of this stuff, you know?
Yeah, they got to get back into the time of Mansa Musa when he bankrupted Egypt based on
Oh,
giving
come
away
on.
all the gold he gave away. Bankrupt
Come
them.
on. That's what I'm
And
talking
not to
about.
mention the fact that that cobalt gold that you're talking about is a product that's mostly found in California. That's the gold that we wore in the 80s that was multiple colors and is also inside your television. So every time you throw away a big screen TV, it gets stripped of those minerals. But just for the record, for sisters like Lydia, and I hope you're listening, we definitely acknowledge what you're trying to do. We have no opinion on it one way or the other. Some way or another, throughout the three of us on the phone and many others that are listening, we're familiar and friends and family with the parties involved through some sort of either business or direct contact. But what I would advise Miss Lydia and others to do, the Cardi B's and the Sexy Reds and the Sade's or whomever, you know, the
Oh, not
holiday.
sexy red. We gonna
Yeah,
take her?
Huh?
Sexy,
Wait.
We're gonna
Y'all
take
watch your
Sexy
mouth.
Red.
Y'all watch your
sexy.
mouth. Y'all watch your mouth talking about my sexy red. Now, I tolerate a lot of stuff, but I don't tolerate nobody messing with pussy pink booty hole brown. Leave
Wait,
her alone.
wait, hold on for a minute. Y'all didn't say nothing about Luke when he's talking about doo-doo brown, man.
So why y'all gonna say something about sexy red?
Sexy.
Yeah, sexy baby, sex. We here, baby. Come over to
Yeah, you know,
podcast,
we
baby.
just
Last supper.
we got to just educate Sexy on what it is to do a community
Yeah,
benefit
definitely.
and do like C-Mac, you know what I'm saying, C-Mac 5 to the homeless.
Right, but you got to also remember that sexy red is bringing awareness to the exploitation of young black girls too, and the crisis that they're dealing with this post-traumatic stress disorder and the foster care system. See, a lot of these kids
Well,
are products of the foster care system.
well. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. You know, Sexy is just making her money, and I think that Sexy deserves to make her money, and that's in entertainment. But here it is, though. The form of entertainment that's being promoted is you have to take it back to the corporate executives who are allowing and giving her the money to do so, and what they're promoting. See, it ain't Sexy promoting it. It's the people that's behind the scenes that's doing the politics because they promote a certain agenda, and I call it soft prostitution because Sexy has so much influence amongst our young girls, and the stuff that she's talking about is inappropriate. You know what I'm saying?
And
And it's creating a sexy red mania in the streets amongst our young teens. Man, they dialed up, they getting in, and that's what they doing. So that right there is something that the shepherd, saying this Last Supper needs to be addressing. Is that hey, it ain't sexy. Let's go behind the scenes and talk to the old 90-year-old corporate guy who loves 5-year-old boys and loves going to Jeffrey Epstein Island and all this stuff. That's where we got to go put our foot down at, because Sexy can perform, but long we can tell Sexy, hey man, y'all gonna put a radar on this because I can't let my little daughter listen to that. I would love for we ain't got no too many influences for our young kids. We ain't got no more Miley Cyrus and we don't need a Miley Cyrus, but where are young influencer black kids that can motivate our kids to go to school, man, to motivate our kids to become great ones. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for those type of people, and the industry owes that to us, for us in our culture, because
Shout out to OG Ruby.
yeah, I just can't keep cutting off the radio and trying to ban everything because, like I say, they got their own phones, and like I say, it's more challenging for a father, you know what I'm saying, to really monitor behavior when you competing with Sexy on the stage.
well, I think that in a situation like Sexy Red, and this is just my opinion, and as I always say, does not
Take
reflect.
that question right there too, dog. After Malik speak.
Yeah, it does. Is my opinion does not reflect that of the host, its guests, or its sponsors. But I think that when I say look out for Sexy Red, metaphorically speaking, if I had a niece or something like that that was out of pocket and doing stuff inappropriately, I would pull it to the side and say, this is what we have to do, this, that, and the other. So when I say look out for, it's like we can't just let them have control over and act as if we're not going to try to retrieve her back towards our direction through conversation or physical contact. So we have to rein in that spirit and let them know, like, man, although we see you out there in the host row, sis, but we still want to put a jacket on you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing that you can do to make us not love you and not want to help you and show you the right direction. I mean, imagine if we showed Sexy Red how to buy 1,000 acres. Or
Oh man.
we showed the sister how to go. For example, when we were kids, we went to Salton Sea to go fishing and all that. Now Salton Sea is a cesspool of minerals that can only be found in Salton Sea, and all the billionaires, and listen for you investors out there, because you're learning this on the Hood Postman / The Last Supper. Cobalt, the biggest deposit of cobalt, the stuff that's used to battery charge your car, to charge your electric vehicle, your EV, is found in Salton Sea, California, where
Bingo.
residents is like less than 100 people, and then some dude that just went and spent $6 billion building a facility.
Bingo.
It's a biodegradable product, and the way that they again extrapolate it or extract it from the earth is unlike what they do with oil. When you drill it, then the mess comes up and it spews up this
Bingo.
oil thing. This one, it takes it out, it puts it in a U pipe, it sucks out the cobalt or whatever it is. I'm sorry, the stuff that's inside Salton Sea. It sucks that out, and then it puts the remaining natural products back into the earth. So it's like taking your kitchen sink U pipe and turning it upside down, sucking the minerals out that you want. And the largest deposit, you can look it up. It was on 60 Minutes, and we're trying to buy land there right now, 7,500 worth, because we know in the future those type of investments are going to go. So when you come to this show, the Hood Postmans, these are the Hood Postman Mel. These are the hidden universities of America, and then the graduates course in some instances will be the Last Supper, because not only will we give you an enlightenment, but we'll teach you how to avoid getting an indictment.
And
There you go.
you hit it right on the nose
So
there.
take that question by Stan, Dahood.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that home, and we all it's like we all vibing. That's what I love about it. The vibe is strong, man. The energy is strong. And Malik, I just wrote that down about the Salton Sea. It's the second biggest thing that took place in America since the 1849 gold rush. And
Yeah.
Salton Sea area, I mean, it's probably the population is probably like 1,500 people. And right now, it's going to be a gold mine based upon, like Malik said, the manufacturing of that lithium, because the Salton Sea has dried up, and so all that mineral and stuff like that. You got all these billionaires flying out there, left and right, setting up in operations, and they're going to take this stuff and make billions off of it. And it's right up the 10 freeway. So it's like,
Yeah,
if you're
off
looking for
the 111.
the 111, yeah. So if you're looking for investments and all that stuff, look into municipal corporations, Boron, Salton Sea, all these small little cities, man. These cities are wide open for the taking, and we're looking on the taking. So it definitely, the British. I mean, I don't know if South Africa got their independence from the crown, because British they one of the biggest empire, second to the Ottoman Empire. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the British became the biggest empire, meaning that they own all the lands, all the wars, and during World War II. In order for us to enter World War II back in 1940 to fight in Europe, we was given Mexico and we was given all Central America on a 99-year Lend-Lease Act which really is owned by the Crown. So in 2038, all that is returned back to Britain. So a lot of people don't understand Britain it's like an empire, and there's the monarch. And most of these places that don't have independence is owned by Britain, Canada. You got to look at all the, all the agreements and stuff, all
Even
the
then,
wars.
I think China just got Hong Kong back, what, about 3 or 4 years ago? Maybe 5?
Yes.
Not just that though. Anytime you get a home loan and in America, I don't care if it's for a condo or a mansion, all your home loans first has to go through the monetary bank in England and all those people to approve it, down to a home loan, your car loan. So when the finance company come back and tell you yes, it's not CarMax that's telling you yes per se. It's the Queen of England that's allowing it. So you do your homework on who controls the monetary system and how the wealth is distributed around the world. It's important to know why we mentioned the situation in Salton Sea, because the gentleman that's buying it was a member of, I believe, the Apple family, and he took some of the stock money. It's one of those big corporations, and he took that ideology and that knowledge and then went out to Salton Sea. And just so we'll know, it's about 100 to 200 or less native Hispanic people that live in that town, and they're being gentrified at an alarming rate. So there should be some cohesiveness amongst us as podcasters and investors, as well as human observers, to be able to get meetings with those people to show that we want to put part in that social equity. Because not only do I see a sexy red death row litigation thing possibility in the future, but then there's ways for us to invest our money and get some generational wealth out of that too as well, and support those brown brothers out there. I mean, these are like migrant people, that are the rightful residents of this community. And we need to have meetings with these power. One dude that bought it, he spent, I think, $6 billion. He sold all of his stuff before it was even drawn out the ground. I don't know if you understand it. The biggest deposit of this lithium was in Africa when they raped and robbed it, and the other dude left a hole in the ground, the Oppenheimers. But this is the biggest, largest deposit of lithium in the world, and Toyota and all of them have already bought into it. Where are you, Magic Johnson, Kanye West? Where are you guys at, Steve Harvey and the rest of you guys? Where are you at? Because you're not speaking mathematics. Remember, Wall Street was built under the advice of a slave to the slave master telling him to buy pork bellies. Okay, so you can learn
Mathematics is the universal language of the black man.
right. So
Yes,
you can learn
sir.
exactly. So you can learn a lot from a dummy at the bottom because we're the cornerstones, the stones that the builders rejected. So when you come to this show and the Last Supper, you're not going to just hear some philosophical white man did me wrong shit. But we can on our show, we don't blame the victim. Is my point. We blame the hidden hand, Mr. Rosecrans.
There you go. A lot of people don't know about General Rosecrans. They claim that Rosecrans so tough, but they don't know about General Rosecrans.
I don't know. They don't know nothing about half the streets they driving up and down, and why these streets are named after people. The Mulhollands and the why Wilmington is called Wilmington. You know, they don't understand that Wilmington was named after a Civil War general. Man, look, we got to understand that there was a Civil War, okay, in the South. Seven states trying to break away. There was Confederate states, and the people that over here in the North fought against the Confederates. They was Unionists, you know what I'm saying? So most of the Unions fought here, you know, and they fought against the Confederates and stuff. Sometimes they could be fighting for which was, you know, freeing us from the Confederate South, you know what I'm saying, that created Reconstruction and all that stuff, you know. And so we got to understand the difference because, you know, there's a difference between people that fought with us, that helped free us, then we got a difference with people who was fighting against us to keep us enslaved, you know, and how this country was created. 1542. Why 1542 is so important is when the Spain arrived here in 1542 in Alta, California. And then, you know, the British arrived here in 1547 up north, where you call the Drake Canal. And, you know, then they colonized this place. We gave them religious freedom rights. The first right we gave people was religious rights. They came in here to practice religion, but they came here and discovered gold, discovered minerals. Then that's how slavery began, because that's how they started taking us and gentrifying from our land. Like Malik said, land is important, but we 50 million strong here in America. This is our land. People don't understand that. We're a sleeping giant, you know, 2-point-some trillion.
That's a brother.
We can't unify.
There's a brother over in South Africa, man, got white folks shook. I believe his name is Joseph Mamie.
Oh
Marlene, look him up.
yeah, the head of the party over there. I'll be watching that brother.
Oh man, that brother deep, man. He go in. Marlena, look him up so I can have his correct name, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Umar wish he had the wisdom that dude has, because they have wisdom, action, and experience. And that's why it's important, as Dahood stipulated so eloquently about how it's important that we address the issues of these Fortune 500s and some of these predators that streets are named after. Not to mention the fact that there are a lot of abolitionists who fought for the freedom of slaves. And we have to teach people how California was even found and how Daniel Boone and all them came out of to break it up and to cause the confusion out in order to get these people to participate in their plan. See, if you really don't know your
He's a South African leader. I think it's Joseph. What is his name, Malik? Joseph Mamia?
Yeah, it starts with M. Well, you know, we was robbed of knowledge itself, so we just gonna say the black man in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because Mumaya, Mubia, Kabir, and then if we don't say it right, then there's gonna be one of them KBG keyboard gangster ass motherfuckers talking, you guys are stupid. Yeah, we stupid. With the LA Unified School District, we was on the plantation. But one thing about the plantation, they didn't have no homelessness, they didn't have no prisons, nobody was overweight, no one had diabetes, no one was shitting and pissing on themselves, God forgive me. And the fact of the matter, they didn't have no Crips and they didn't have no Bloods. And no one asked you where you was from, because you knew where you was from.
They had Crips and Bloods.
Yeah, they did. But you know what they called them?
First cousin, second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin. And they was all blood related. So you have to separate the bloodline by 4, or else you're gonna have a baby that's born with 46 chromosomes.
Well, let me say this again.
No, that's not him, Marlena. He's over in South Africa. South Africa. He's the new party leader over there. But anyway, what up? I lost my thoughts. Now I'm still. I hate that, man. When I forget this brother's name, because this brother is so profound. He's like a Mugabe and Nkrumah and all these brothers combined and Nelson Mandela wrapped in one.
Oh yeah.
This brother got all the attributes.
Yeah, they finally figured out, you know what I'm saying, the value of the land that they living on, and all the people that's been raping it, like the brother said, the mineral rights, you know, that Britain and all these people been controlling and owning since thousands of years. You know, a lot of these, you know, independent is one thing, but when you don't control your minerals, which is the value of your country, and which represents, you know, your gross product, you know what I'm saying, you know, that makes your money. Man, hey man, if you don't own that, you don't own nothing. You know, if you don't own the mineral rights beneath that thing, you know, where you gonna get your water from? Where you gonna get? It's like, you know, a lot of those brothers are waking up now, and you know, it's a strong movement that's going on across the Atlantic. And like I said, we just disenfranchised here because we disunified, unorganized to recognize to can make that connection and then rise ourselves all the way up back to the top. You know, that's the goal, man. Getting back on top. You know, and that's gonna be one of our biggest struggles because we have to unify all of our efforts. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, spiritually,
Uh-huh.
physically, and we got to do like they did. And, you know how Haiti was defeated the enemies back in the days, which was I think it's the French. You know, hey man, they had enough. We ain't had enough yet because we still trying to bring each other down. Look at the thing with Kevin Hart and Katt Williams. They got everything that's going on. Everybody trying to bring each other down. And we represent the soul and heart. Why the soul and heart is ill? You know what I'm saying? It's sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to heal ourselves, man, and really focus in on what's happening on a universal level, you know what I'm saying, and on the national level and international level. And make ways that, we can unify our efforts, man. That's what it's all about. We should be focused on number unity.
What's your thoughts on what Katt Williams did, though? I mean, how you summarize it?
From a corporate standpoint of view, I always when I look at them guys, man, those guys are entertainers, man. So there's always strategies to be able to get you the buzz and get you out there to make a lot of money. I look at it as that's what it was. He went on that thing purposely and,
Yeah,
create
marketing genius.
controversy. And
Yeah,
bam, all of a sudden, he's going to sell out. So I don't look at it too much of what they're talking about because we've been saying the same stuff about the whole industry and all of them for a long time, but ain't nobody been listening to us. But as soon as one of the insiders say something, is news. But I think it's a bunch of fucking distraction. And
there
then
you go. There's
the
his name right
the,
there.
the most
That's
important
his
is
name. Malia.
Joseph. Yeah, you
Malima.
know
Joseph Malima. I know I was saying it right. I just wasn't getting it out right. Joseph Malima.
that's it.
That's him. That's him, Mr. Malima.
Yeah, so like I say, we got to focus on what's real today. We in the 2024 elections. This is one of the most challenging elections in U.S. history. And like I say, it's going to be a lot of trillions of dollars and people trying to sway you this way and that way, and and it's up to us because black folks are always the tiebreakers in any elections because the white folks are evenly split, and we carry the vote. So we got to recognize that
We got to get something for our vote, though.
Oh no, yeah, we gotta understand what that means, and and we gotta get the right leaders up there talking because we got a lot of hacks that's up there speaking for us, man. That really don't speak for the bottom 85% of
You know, a
the
lot of
poor.
people don't know that Jesse Jackson stole Rainbow Coalition from Fred Hampton. He stole that.
Man, Jesse Jackson been an opportunist. Al Sharpton's an
Al,
opportunist.
Al
You know what I'm saying?
Sharpton.
You put
Al
words. You put
Sharpton.
when you say them names, just say a civil right opportunist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When for them to get an opportunity, they there. If they know for them to get no shine, they ain't coming. That's what it is. We gotta accept them for what they are.
What
And
about this? What about this lawyer, dog? Where did this guy come from?
man, he's just another opportunist, man. He only there when people dead. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he jumps on
He ain't represent.
everybody's case or something that got to do with the police. He's on every case.
And he make sure you dead too, because he only gonna represent things that's dead. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he is. We call him. He's the cemetery lawyer. But no disrespect to him, because that's his hustle. You're a black man. You trying to eat. But like I say, man, we got to choose who we pick out there to put up front, because this is the reason why we still behind. Bad leadership. It's a lot of money being made, but like I say, it's just bad leadership, man. Bad
Yeah, he
leadership.
is a federal informant, though. You're right, Nari.
Well, one of the things that they can do in this upcoming election is to recycle black dollars in honor of the brother that started that organization back in the 90s during the riots, the uprising. is to invest into your show as well as the Last Supper for some of those political campaign dollars that they're going to be distributing and some of those public service announcements that they're going to be doing. Because keep in mind that the television stations are not owned by the station and the networks. That's a public airwave like the Wi-Fi. So when you see the networks not putting out public service announcements that reflect stopping the killing, anti this, FCC rules and regulations that pertain to how the game is played on the airways concerning complaints or compliments. I think it's important to know that, for example, Mr. Rupert Murdoch has purchased Fox News, and
Uh-huh.
Fox News is owned by him because he went to the people and bought it, because a certain amount of the airwaves have to be owned by minority people. Well, Mr. Rupert Murdoch came in as an Aborigine out of Australia and bought some Fox networks here in America. That's why he's on top. Now, fast forward, myself, I work for Mr. Quincy Jones, and I'll tell the story about Mr. Harvey, my experience with him for many years there with him and Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric and Harvey, it's me, the pro nigga that, yeah.
You talking about Steve Harvey?
Long live Katt Williams. But
Harvey Winston or Weinstein or Steve Harvey?
it's all a Harvey situation.
All the Harveys are the same.
All the Harveys.
You got Harvey Weinstein and Steve Harvey.
It's a homonym synonym.
Okay.
Okay.
I know it was all the same.
I've had some interesting experiences. I've been in Hollywood for quite some time. I've never gotten any parody shown to me in regards to fairness. I've worked for the best Quincy Jones. I'll tell you some things how he felt about Tupac's mom and stuff like that I was privileged just to bear witness to. But this is my message, and if you'd like, you can make a short out of this. Here's my public service announcement to all Black leaders, rappers, basketball players, and others. And thank you, Mr. Katt Williams, for disseminating the information that you did. How can you speak for us when you don't even speak to us? I'm going to say it again. Mr. Harvey, Cedric, the rest of your crew, Mr. Jordan, Steve Weber, the basketball player, you guys give exclusive interviews to others other than myself who defend your honor at all costs and go home and eat top ramen. And then you guys say you speak for us, but you don't even speak to us. So how can you speak for us and you don't speak to us? That's mathematically, emphatically preposterous.
He wrote Think Like a Man.
But they acting like women.
Nope. You want to think like a man, but you're sitting there talking to God.
They thinking like they,
a man
yeah,
and
they,
talk to God.
he look
You
like
don't
a
know
man,
God until you meet the devil.
Man,
Nope.
but like you say, man, they look like men, but they act like women, man. You know, they mad at themselves. They mad. Man, it's crazy, man, in dealing with a lot of these celebrities and that I done came across. And I don't like celebrities, so I try not to really try to stay in contact with them or do anything other than Jim, because Jim was a blackball celebrity. So when we met Jim, they cast him out because he walked away from the NFL in his primes, and that was at the time the NFL was transitioning over to endorsements and all that stuff. And Jim was the man. He was the face of football, and he walked away and made all those 30 billionaires pissed off at him. And Jim was in Hollywood. Jim was doing movies, and they found a way to sabotage Jim like they do every other black man. Shouts out to Major.
Uh-huh.
When the woman come in and throw a monkey wrench, and then that right there blackball you from Hollywood and trying to get you. The NFL was doing everything trying to get Jim back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Jim believed
He
in
was the
what he
greatest.
believed in. He didn't let nobody define who he was as a man. And he needed
Jim carried a whole other team across the goal line.
He needed no validation. So like I say, all this stuff and all these great influences that's been in our lives and stuff like that, man. The greatest thing we need to be really talking about, to me, is that we have over 50,000 black homeless people in Los Angeles. We got over 58,000 black children in foster care, and we got over hundreds of thousands of black men trapped inside these prisons and institutions of Los Angeles, of California. Then the rest is
And that's on purpose.
and the rest of them is impoverished. Then we got a 1% of a class of black folks that works for the corporations that's being pimped and exploited, and then eventually when they flame goes out, they get thrown either in prison, they either overdose on drugs, or they be homeless like Deontay West on the side of a freeway begging for chips. It's something that consciously, it's got to move us as free black men. I call myself a free thing. I say what I want to say because I do my research, and then sometimes, like I say, I say things that's out of the box, and that's how we got to stand up if we expect to move ourselves in a different direction from that. Because all that over the last 30 years have produced over 300,000 black men dead from gun violence. That's a lot of men that's been taken, from the streets based upon, just violence using guns and stuff. So it's like, we really have to look at certain things and start cutting our attention on to podcasts like this and podcasts that's really addressing the issues, and then getting behind, individuals and people that's out here doing work, man, unconditionally, even though if they getting the money right now, if they come up out of these ghettos and they still struggling, they got, man, attach on to them. Man, stop tearing our own down for
So,
trying to
Dahood, let me
help others.
ask you a question. How do we get the 5%, which is you, myself, Malik, and yourself, get the 94% to move over to the 5%, and the 5% move over to the 1%, because the 1% seems to control everything, right? But the 5% we're in a critical moment where we're trying to awaken the 94%, but they fight us so hard about it.
Well,
What is wrong with that dynamic to where they can't seem to grasp, or is it's just the indoctrination that they can't get past the indoctrination? Because a lot of what we call education in this country is really indoctrination.
yeah.
So,
That was a good question. I think that by us starting what we're doing tonight, by us being on this podcast together, by us, utilizing our intelligence based upon our experience and what we research, to come together and have the conversation about it. We have to have a conversation because we never had a conversation about it, and
uh-huh.
we got to have a conversation regardless if we have money or not. Whether we gotta continue to build these type of situations up. And remember, Malik, we've been
Well, I
doing.
was gonna say that we got to get. See, the thing about podcasts is being consistent. The more often you own the air, the more you can speak on these brilliant ideas and subject matters, and you begin to awaken the people, the more they will come and listen. And we like talk today, and then we don't talk tomorrow. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm not in the position to talk every day, but if I got somebody that's pushing, then I'm gonna go
Man.
versus me just saying, "Nah, I ain't gonna talk today." I ain't. But there's always issues and things going on in our cultures, our society that needs to be spoken about.
and it's
We
and
always need to address some things.
And like you said, that's an everyday thing, And so
Yes.
we have to commit ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, this is my first time, getting on one of these platforms and understanding podcasts. And I've been introduced to this for a long time, and it just wasn't the time for me at the time.
Uh
But
huh.
because we're in 2024 and it's critical, it's critical. I think that, like Malik always says, pressure makes the best diamonds. And I think that we all shining. And I think that we continue to build this platform and bring in other intelligent minds, different perspectives, and not just talking, but we strategizing, we moving like a machine. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
like I told you, come Friday, I'll be up that way, and we can go over there and check out everything and see what we got.
that's yeah. And I'm waiting for you. I put you in my calendar book, so
Okay. Malik, what you got to say? I'm about to get up out of here. What you got to add to the people? Because I know you got a message for them. Definitely leave it out.
Well, I truly believe that we have to reconfigure the mathematical equation that we use to approach how we analyze the position our people in when it comes to the ratio. The ratio that you described concerning us and the 1%ers and the 95 converting over to the side of the coin that makes it where we have a common denominator, which would be unity. But I truly believe that we are the 5% of 100% of the people on the earth, and the 10%ers are the bloodsuckers of the poor, the culture vultures, the oppressors, and people of that nature. And then you have the 85%, which are our people, which are the blind, deaf, and dumb. So the duty of a civilized man or woman is to teach the uncivilized civilization. So we have to lead by example. And in the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said, when you find a dirty glass, you put a clean one beside it to give the people of choice. So the words that came out of Dr. Katt Williams' mouth in regards to how these people operate is information for us to run with, because in their mind, he's considered a defect. So we have to wrap our arms not around Katt Williams as a celebrity, but out of the things that came out of his mouth.
True.
He was having
True.
an exorcism.
Very profound. Very profound.
I think that was like an exorcism more than a prolific statement. That, you know, the
Right.
Bible says that a drunken mind speaketh a sober tongue. And they had some talk serum inside that cognac, which I wouldn't mind taking a shot. I've had very few shots in my life. But just that bottle, Shay, if you watching this, I don't know where you got that talk serum from, but I want to give my wife a shot of that. See what she might tell me. You got that first 48. You got that little bottle too. You had that tight ass sweatsuit on. Look like you up high. You kept playing Jeff. Come on now, come on. And you're taking it.
Okay, dog. Lift us up, man.
Use what you call Dr. Shay. You are a professional organizer and mental extrapolator. You pull it out of a man. I mean, you pull so much out of Cat, your tight pants is just stuff. I started to call you Tom Cat the Third. But all I can tell you is, I'm going to tell you something. Boy, you the man, baby. You got 33 million views. If you could just show one video of the Negroes we have eating out the trash and get us 10 views and 100 viewers, we'll thank you forever, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Let me know where you got that sweatsuit from.
Yeah,
that's West of Beverly Hills sweatsuit.
Yeah, man.
Ain't no white
do
boy
Hollywood.
you know with them meat packers on.
That is kind of like a strange name, Club Shay Shay.
Yeah, man.
But I know when I was little, they used to have them old men in front of the stove with them old tight ass pants on. Come give me a quarter. Jiggling them
Jiggling that change, jiggling that change.
So I don't know, Shay, the pants. Them motherfuckers be tight, man. I couldn't sit and talk to a nigga with no pants on that tight, man. It'll make my blood pressure go up.
Take us out, dog.
Oh man, you know.
Nah, don't take us out. Tell that nigga to sit in that talk shit brown bottle.
Really gotta take us out.
Swarovski crystal
really
bottle.
Gotta take us out. Really gotta take us out. I can't gather my thoughts with this dude.
Okay. Well,
take us out, man. Take us out, man. Take us out. Take us out, Malik.
Oh, in the name of God, I thank y'all for coming, listening. If we offended anybody, we didn't mean to. This is an enlightenment, not an indictment.
Wait. You gotta read the disclaimer before we even start talking next time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Take us out, man. Take us out, man. Take us out.
Okay, check this out. Shay, send us some of that Hennessy and that Swarovski crystal bottle.
Yeah, right,
you
man.
can send my skinny ass a pair of them tight ass sweatsuits you had with them thunder colors all on them and shit. You know, cause see, this is the kind of little jackets we wear over here, Shay. Where we from? You see what they say? Let me show you, Shay. So we be serious about that. You see what they say, right, Shay? Yeah, Ku Klux Klansman. So Shay, send us the sweatsuit, Shay. We clan busters over here, man. So you send the clan busters the thing, and we'll go from there. But until next time,
that's right.
Good Postman Mail. It's
Man.
the University of America, baby. Don't be
Man. Shout out to the Hood Postman. Shout out to the Supper Club. Shout out to everybody that joined us, man. We appreciate you. We're gonna do this often. More often, guys. Trust me, we coming.
Come on, Cat. Now, come on, Mel. Come on now, man.
Man, you sound like you was finna sing the old Negro spiritual.
Come on now, man. Boy, that Negro face with color purple, Kunta Kinte. Boy, that Negro pocket, all you can hear little earpieces. Them Hey, show us how to do that trick. You smarter than Katt Williams. Y'all giving credit to the wrong person. As soon as you get some cognac, come on now, Cat, come on now.
Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys, man. We'll talk soon. Shawty, take us up out of here.
Don't fit. You must fit, man.
Yeah. Lock the door on him.
Come on now, Cat.
Perfect grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Gotta find this, baby. Perfect grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City.
street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Bricks for the low.
Shout out to the mailroom, lady mailroom goes. I am Professor Melly Vale. My lady Williams, go ahead and lock the door, because we are gone.